Yes, Yule and Johnny Boy be ballin'. Good morning, everybody. Wacky Wednesday up in a bitch. Fastest freaking show in MLB. Absolutely anywhere with your homeboy, yo. Big Johnny Studs from the worldwide Brooklyn, New York, as always. Coming out that damn chair as always. Good to see B Rose. Congrats, great skill, my friend. Doing the damn thing. Banging those unders. Using the model. Can't lose with the tools we use. Good to see the crew eating good. Baseball's version of 300. Give the book nothing. Take from that bitch. Everything it ain't madness, baby.
This is Sparta!
You damn right it is. What's going on, me gente? Comments starting to pile up. Love to see it. B Rose, Jeff L. Doesn't work for me, brother. USMC, what's going on, play? Good to see you. J Bird. Hope everything's going good. And Sam, we got a full one today. We got 4 in the afternoon. We'll circle back for the commuter crowd. Again, nobody gives a shit about daily baseball coverage in general. It's impossible. There's a negative amount of caring about the afternoon stuff. So thanks for supporting the show and the Substack. Follow me up on Twitter at John Legaza Flow, sharpen and eraser. We're burning the candle on both ends, MLB and NFL, going around the clock and doing ranking updates pretty much all the time, right? You got to keep up with all the news and how it impacts that ripple. Drop the pebble in the pond. Enough of that football shit. We need more of this. Oh, yeah. Best part of waking up. Pitching sheets up in the mug. All right, we got some good ones today. I got more hitters than anything. I'm trying to get in the habit of abridging the show before it's too late. I'm trying to get in a better schedule for when I need to do double shows. I'm also going to be on TSN Radio in Toronto today, maybe talking some Blue Jay fans off the ledge. And then, I've been hosting Fantasy Football Weekly with Jake Trowbridge. That's comes out on Friday. So I got quite a bit going on with all the writing and stuff. Man, love it. It's my favorite time of year. But yeah, I want to be starting with the board and working that way. First up, it's the Halos. Reed Detmers on the bump, plus 120. Dog on the road against the Baltimore Orioles and T-Rod, Trevor Rogers on a bump. I got minus 127. The first thing you're going to notice, of course, the orange box for the Angels, but not for the Orioles. And we're getting a 4.5 team total Baltimore and a 3.5 team total LA at better than minus 130. You gotta like the 4. You gotta like the home team. Model likes the Orioles, 4.5 a run. Though it's going to be close, and I'd also be fielding all arguments for an under. I think the under is totally in play. The new iteration of the Angels bullpen kind of terrifies me. They sold off everything that wasn't bolted down. Baltimore, I don't know, is looking pretty good lately. It's funny, teams are selling off, and they're only 3 games below 500. Yeah, I guess they feel out of it. But we've seen this happen with the Nats. I'm not saying they're going to make a run, but we've seen the Nats a couple years ago. The Phillies did it. Teams that were fucking buried early August go on monster runs. Look at Boston, change the trajectory of the season. I think the point was just Baltimore's not ass. I mean, you're missing Adley, but he been missing. So I think I like Baltimore at the price. Like I said, I'm going back and forth with the total. I prefer to go under F5 4.5. You're not going to get that today. So I think Baltimore gets to win at home. Detmers is a little bit of a hit or miss guy. Also, Angels offense kind of sucks. Plus, they get rid of Adele. And again, the bullpen is a mess. If I'm not mistaken, right before we move on, Angels have kind of struggled versus lefties. Yeah, the disciplinary stuff in particular. I think Rogers is going to shove today. I really do. Baltimore's hit lefties pretty well. We'll just need to scratch one across Detmers and an Angels team that pretty much has, very little to live for at this point. Next up, Jacob Lopez, Jake the Snake on the bump for the Athletics. They're on the road as plus 121. Dogs down in Cincinnati to face my boy Rhett. Bump the music louder. And the Redlegs, minus 130 for the home team. Going to be hot as balls in Cincinnati in the already kind of optimal hitting weather. And the A's have the emoji. Oh, I made a mistake. Hold on one second, people. My mistake. That should actually... you bitch. That should have been Atlanta. My mistake. Athletics. Not that it matters. A's bullpen, even at full strength, is the worst. 7.64 ERA from the bullpen last 50 and 2/3. That's a lot of innings to be giving up a 305 batting average, 6.5 KBB, almost 2 homer 9. Reds have been performing well. Anytime Pagan seems to be in the mix, they've been okay. I mean, we've talked about that, right? When you kind of have your role, when roles are defined, I think it just makes everything a little bit easier. I think the Reds also have the better offense here. A's are just missing so many pieces. You know, Kurtz is down now, too. It's a fucking disaster over there. Now, Louder is pretty gross. I don't know why I won't spend too much time with this. I'm wondering why I was getting back into Rhett Louder. I know I have a problem chasing first round draft picks. It's always been a fucking thing of mine, you know, waiting for the breakout. He's a 7th overall pick in 2023. He's only 24 years old. Regardless if this happens, it's too early to throw the baby out with the bathwater, right? Louder's story is not written. I mean, he's been pretty good lately. You know, he went 5, gave up 2 with St. Louis. Went 6, gave up 2, no walks, 5 Ks versus Pittsburgh. He had that monster blow up at Colorado. Do you really care? He had a monster blow up at Milwaukee earlier on. But other than that, he's been pretty good. Pittsburgh fucked him up early in the year. So yeah, it's really a bit of a blow up thing. So the question is do you think Louder is in a blow up spot? A's versus righties last 14 games. That's about 240 plate appearances. Just 3 home runs and a 315 slug. Disciplinary stuff has been good. Too many balls on the ground there, not enough barrels. I'm going under the hood for Louder because I'm kind of curious what we're going to see. So he's a sinker first guy, low velo. Backs it up with a slider. That's a pretty damn good pitch. You know, induces weak contact, lots of whiffs. Throws it to lefties and righties. We like that. Then he's also got the changeup. Pretty good pitch, good but not great. The misses get punished. Which there are too many. But he does get whiffs. That's more of the out pitch to lefties. I'd like to see a little bit more of a drop off in velo from the sinker and the four seamer. But again, the stuff is not terrible. He's got, you know, there's something here. So I think the Reds win this one. I think they have the edge across the board. Man, paying any kind of juice for Louder at home feels a little risque. But right now, that's my story, and, you know, I'm sticking to it. Next up, Jake the Snake, Swervin' Irvin on the bump for Nacionals. Plus 154, heavy dog on the road against Andrew House Painter and the Fighting Phils, minus 164 down on Broad Street for the home squad. You know, can't bury the lead here. I've got the Phils kind of kicking ass. Washington with very little to hang their hat on right now. You know, it's pretty much a disaster. Sold off everything that wasn't. Yeah, Joey, good morning, man. Joey Lobster talking to Chase fans off the edge. Yeah, you know, that's what it is, man. Say, oh, Matty Claus, what's going on, kiddo? Oh, shit. Matt's going to be the one, you know, he's the inimitable host of the TSN show that is just crazy enough to bring me on. Personally, whatever, we could maybe talk about it later. I think Vlad Guerrero is hurt. And, you know, you get so close to the fucking goal last year. They were right there. That kind of late tag from third really killed him in the 7th game, man. I was really rooting for the Blue Jays in that one. Like, seriously, I was rooting hard. But, okay, Sarah, they fell a little bit short. All right, back into this one. So Washington is very, very, very little to hang their hat on. Irvin's been an abject disaster. Maybe the same for Painter, however, right? But, that kind of that big, you know, shaking ass that we love so very much, right? This is an ass show. And I'm the fucking conductor, right? The biggest ass of them all. Painter, another guy we know is the big pedigree. You can see a lot of the splits have been pretty weak. I feel like he's been good as of late. It's been more production than inputs. I'm going under the hood one more time. I was trying not to do too much of this, but man, this is really, to me, the stuff that matters when pitchers hit that fork on the road and we're trying to determine trajectory. It really becomes about, like, what's going on under there? You're not going to, I would wish I could tell you, you're going to find it all in the spreadsheet when, you know, that's just not the case. Well, again, Painter, regardless of what happens, he's only 23, former 13th overall pick. He's a fucking mountain. It's like 6'7", you know what I mean? Under the hood, let's see. It's four-seam first, really good velo. That's always been the thing. Spin is okay. Extension's okay. You'd like to see a bit more whiffs. I wonder if the shape profile is shitty. It is. Remember, the main thing you're looking for when we're grading, I mean, from a diagnostic standpoint, this is me. I know everybody goes velo first. For me, it's actually shape. A lot of people would probably say induced vertical break first. I think for me, it's horizontal run. Though it's all a gentle balance, right? The kind of push and pull of the tapestry of that puzzle. But that four-seamer is not a great pitch. He's at about 33%, which is, you're pushing primary, and I think you could throttle that a little bit because the rest of the arsenal kind of grades out really well. Slider and the split finger both have an X slug under 395 with whiff rates north of 38. Plus the spin rate has 1,000 RPM disparity. That splitty's a really nasty pitch, man. Also has a sweeper that's kind of nasty. All right, hold on. Again, I was trying not to take too long. But what happens then, right? When you find decent stuff in the pitching, in the arsenal, I should say, then we kind of want to see how the deployment shaking out. And this is kind of really encouraging. Identified the four-seamer as maybe not a great pitch. He was throwing it in the mid-40s to start the year. Dropped it down to 28. That was one of the low marks of the year. First time all year in the last start, featuring the sweeper. I think we might be seeing the Phillies kind of figured it out with Andrew Painter. I'm going wheels up Andrew Painter here. If they're going to make him pitch backwards and feature all that really good stuff first, I think he could shove. Nats offense without Wood, without Garcia is just not going to be the same. It's going to be a while until I think we see these things kind of come to earth. Maybe not. Last 7 for the Nats is really gross. Phillies starting to get up off the bat, Oh, yeah. So, yeah, this one, minus 164. I get you. I totally hear you barking, dog. I think there's a pretty good case for another cover here, as we hit that point in the season where some teams are just, it's demoralizing, right? You get dismantled, and on top of it, you lose all your best players. So I've got Phillies for the run line cover. That's plus 120. I also think they're a strong play for a blend bet. Next up, Christian Great Scott on the bump for the Let's Go Mets Go. Looking to go 1.21 gigawatts. On the road is minus 107 slight favorites in Forest City to face Le Gardien and Tanner Bybee. Man, I was shocked at the total on this one. I have to double check it. You savages probably knocked this down. It happens all the time. Whenever I'm this far off a total, it just doesn't last. It never lasts. Wow, it's still out there. So I don't want to bury the lead. We're like way under the 8.5. We are like fucking significantly under the 8.5. I've got both these teams under 3 3/4. However, that doesn't change the objective fact that we have another one of these situations where with 4.5, 3.5, with the price, I don't have a name for this play. I wish somebody could help me name this. I'm usually very good with the taxonomy stuff, but I just haven't been able to come up with it. Now, in this case, I don't necessarily agree. I mean, the model does, right? Half a run at the price, minus 107. We have a fair line value, minus 118. Model feeling pretty strongly about the Mets. But again, I think there's a stronger signal to the under. Why? I don't know. I'm getting old, right? I used to call them dog fights. Right? We have it modeled so close. Both teams under 4. It's going to be fucking choppy. Why sweat like a 1-run loss when it just feels more like under is the play? Christian Scott's been very good. Sub-3 ERA, 124 whip. Indicators are loving him. Too many walks. But I'm staying optimistic because a 36% ball rate is very good. Look at Bybee. Bybee has a 36.3 ball rate and a 7% walk rate. Who has better command and control? It's not at that point, it's not about command and control. It's about stubbornness, right? And the willingness to give in, or if you have that 2-strike pitch. I think Scott is I don't really want to use I don't want to use like a bad word. Like, he's arrogant. But I think he may be too overconfident, right? Given the low first strike rate. Again, if this kid would get ahead of batters, he'd be take another step forward. But he's been pretty good at keeping him in the yard, which has not been a strong suit for Bybee. As good as he's been, and he has been, Cleveland is a damn pitching factory. He's given up 20 Shamalama ding-dongs. You see, the splits are pretty strong both ways. Scott's maybe struggled with a little bit of distance, but he's been fantastic on the road. One of the better road pitchers in the league. 282 ERA, 110 whip, nearly 20 K minus BB. That's Christian Scott. And he's been unhittable last 30 days, about as good as it goes. Sub 1 whip, sub 2 expected, 25 KBB, man. Wheels up for Christian Scott. Comes down to the offenses. Cleveland let us down yesterday. Bunch of fucks, yo. Oh my God. Why can't I avoid these unearned runs? It is driving me fucking crazy, man. Swear, Guardians did not have a chance yesterday. Didn't have a chance. Loaded the bases in the first, get nothing. Get 2 outs of their own in the first, make an error, it leads to fucking 3 runs.
You're so stupid!
Yeah, no doubt, man. I don't know if you could really buy into either one of these offenses right now. Cleveland did add a few pieces, but sometimes that takes a little bit to kind of galvanize or gel. I mean, take your pick who's worse. Just disgracefully bad, both of them. Mets on top of it with poor discipline, which I think is what will be needed because of the Bibby slippage with the home runs. Guardians haven't hit for shit. I think Scott's going to shove them around. And both bullpens have been pretty good. I know the Guardians are giving up runs. I don't really buy ERA in 2-week samples, right? A couple of homers and shit will get you. Maybe some bad BABIP or whatever. Overall, they're a pretty good squad. So I just don't see the 8.5 here. I have this one like firmly closing at 8 and not 8.5. So I'm going to put that as the top play. I've got Mets and Guards where under 8.5. Minus 110. Also, if you notice, I've been trying to get all the bets out earlier. 1, it's better pricing. And 2, I have to put the baseball away because I have to shift it to football. Right? I'm like doing the Alter Beast thing. Rise from your grave. I need to be compartmentalizing my day to be more effective. Right? The kind of stuff that it's the same stuff I preach to you. This is why this fucking tool is worth it. Like, seriously. $2 a week every day. The shit is laid out for you. And wait for football. I'm serious. You find EPA per dropback differentials and you fucking format them for less than $2 a week. Honestly, don't be fucking stubborn. And you want to be a cheap bitch. I fully, whole-throatedly endorse being a fucking cheapskate. Money is worth less as things become worth more without their quantity or quality improving. You gotta be fucking cheap. But the one commodity we all share as we fly around on a ball of water, spinning around a ball of fucking fire, as crazy as that sounds, is time. It's limited. Don't be a fucking cheap bitch. Support good people doing good work, man. Seriously, press the like and subscribe button while you're down there, because that shit matters way more than it should. That said, I do think the Mets also win. I think at minus 107. I think the Mets kind of have them, every which way. Let's move it on. Next up, Andre Palante on the bump for the Redbirds. They're plus 137 dogs for some reason against Wee Willie Warren and the New York Yankees. Yankees at home is minus 146 dogs with the bullpen emoji. Bednar 2 of 3. Cruz, missing the space. Back-to-back plus 304 and Hedrick 304. Okay. I mean, especially if you're worrying about Bednar with the pitch count on the 304, I think the Cardinals win this one outright as underdogs, right? We don't get enough of these, man. Where's the fucking? You would think of all the sound effects. Like, that sucks. That's like the worst. That's like the worst effect I have. What the hell was that, dude? I gotta work on the sound effect stuff. So yeah, give me Palante, man. I think he does everything that you need to do as a pro pitcher when you don't have big K stuff, which he does not. But he keeps guys off base. He doesn't offer free passes. He gets ahead and keeps it down. Warren, after such a great start, has really started to fall apart. The lack of swing and miss and the lack of chase with the inability to win in zone has really killed him. Plus, he gives up too many freaking home runs. The offenses, man, are both kind of, dragging their withered carcasses to the finish line here. I mean, Yankees are batting 180 as a squad. Last 267 plate appearances versus righties. That's a 243 OBP with a 29% K. Just atrocious. And if you're going to be like overly patient and looking to lift Palante, he's going to put you in really bad spots. Right? That's why that archetype and that stylistic works so well. we know being behind an account is enormously disadvantageous to hitters. So your option list includes 0-1, 0-2, or weak ground ball on either of those counts or on 0-2. I don't like the Yankees here as a heavy favorite. It's correct. To me, this is crazy. Like stone cold fucking nuts. Yeah, it was really, really cool that Lombard kind of came up and looked good. I think Garcia is a good player. I do. But I think maybe we put the cart before the horse here because I'm not really buying Warren. And I think if you're not buying Palante, we should be leaning to the over. But with that, the model not really buying that either. Again, just not really buying the offenses here. Liking Palante to get, out of trouble when he's in it. Yankees bullpen has still managed to be a bit of a carrying tool, even though I did mention that they're a little bit stressed. They have pitched well. Cardinals not so much. That's another one. I'm surprised. It shows you how little the model thinks of the Yankees offense right now. I'd be surprised because you'd think, man, they got rid of Romero and the bullpen's not great in the first place. However, and this is last thing, this is probably the last piece of the calculation, or it's what it is. It's got to be at least that O'Brien, Soriano, and Stanek are all rested. And when you have a pitcher that you think is going to go 6, maybe more, right, that contact profile boosts the distance for Palante. If I'm not mistaken, his distance numbers are pretty good. Remember, I've got the prop sheet up all the time. He's at nearly 17 outs a game. He's going deep. So, yeah, I think this one is a bit of a misprice. I think the Cardinals, win this one. Normally I might have cut this to F5, but I don't think you need to. I think you should let it run. Just feels a little bit too cheap. Yankees kind of carrying that favorite tax. Remember, 10 days ago, Garrett Cole was minus 120, and now Will Warren is minus 150. Honestly, sometimes it just is what the fuck it is. Next up, my boy Sean Burke on the bump for the Pale Hose. They're plus 111 on the road against Sunny Day Gray and the Red Laundry, minus 118 down in Fenway for the bad guys. I mean, Models got the White Sox winning this one outright. White Sox are a wagon. They're the official team of this is our Source Network group. Shout out to Kyle, Spoon Man, TV Jones, Jake Side Guy, of course, my brother from another Alaskan mother, fucking Toasty. Love that crew, man. They're really, really good. Good to see you, Adonis. What's going on? Appreciate you, Joey Lobster. I really do, man. Says, definitely a great show. Appreciate you. Nah, man, I appreciate you guys here for real. What am I? I'm just some fat bitch yelling this computer screaming at you guys. Plus Money Pat. What's up, kiddo? AOD. All right, love this. Johnny Lasagna up in the piece. Man, did I ever say that AOD? Cheers, brother. I don't know if I ever said that. I've had that. I've had that nickname in the. I guess it's not like. It's not that, not obvious, but still. All right, so Burke has been fantastic. 335 ERA and 117 whip. All the indicators at 3.6 or below. He's been really good. Remember, he showed us that glimpse like a year or two ago. But fell apart. They changed pitching coaches. Chicago doing some nice stuff. And I like Cats also, but, sometimes the change is good. Burke, just elite command control. Plus 20 KBB, nearly 29 CSW, really all the stuff we like. Very good with the four-seamer, good at keeping the ball in the yard. Just 10 home runs and just a shade under 100 innings. I love it. Sonny Gray continuing to reinvent himself. He's been fantastic. Now, the swing and miss has disappeared, and the contact profile is really high. That's where I think the win comes into play for the White Sox. If you're going to be pitching to contact, though Gray's been very good at home, struggling a little bit last 30. And again, I think that might be a weather thing also, right? Pitching to contact when the weather gets warmer, all the carry is worse. Yeah, I like the White Sox to win this one. Red Sox offense has been cool. But again, if you're just looking at the numbers, and I know I got fucking raked over the coals yesterday for, calling the Braves kind of what I thought they were, what the spreadsheets say they are. Which is just meh. This Boston team that's just on a crazy roll is hitting home runs, but they're tied with the White Sox. Same time frame versus righties. I mean, the hard hit rate is bottom 5. The pull rate is bottom 5. A 333 X Wobicon. Remember, X Wobicon is the very best descriptor of damage It's ex-WOBA, purely isolated to contact. Again, that alone is worth $2 a week. It's not there. This is not like a Red Sox team that's, oh my gosh, you're going to run for your life, Now, last 7, you have to give them the edge. But I don't like WRC Plus in the small set. To me, discipline is what rules the day. I think WRC Plus is a little too weighted for outputs. Right? And like run scoring, does that make sense? Weighted run creation. Because they scored a ton of runs, they've hit home runs. But it's like average on BABIP without good discipline, without pulling hard hit balls. I mean, I'm not going to come off like my foundational principles. Those are my foundational principles of the things I'm looking for. Gun to my head. What are you looking for positive trajectory change with an offense? And it's strong discipline and pulling hard hit balls. So, I hope this doesn't come off as like, oh, he's a fat Yankee hater who hates the Red Sox. The Red Sox are good. They're better than the Yankees right now. I'm just not buying this, because you're hearing it on social media, again, which is a fucking cesspool, but still. It's the bullpen that's been the big carrying tool. But White Sox not far behind. They did addition by subtraction, moving away from Sir Anthony Dominguez, you know what I'm saying? So we've got this is another one where I fucked up. I should have read the board first. The fact that this is an 8.5 is another copy and paste argument from the Mets and Cleveland game. It's going to be a dogfight. I tend to like the White Sox because of the plus money. But that said, the stronger lean on the model, and I think the handicap too, is to get a piece of Gray, get a piece of both of those bullpens, and you're going under 8.5. You know what? I want to shout out, what's his face? I want to shout out our guy, Brian Rose, man. Yo, cheers to you, B. Rose. Brian, right? And this is something we were talking about weeks ago. A super sharp guy, We were talking about how the news about the ball changing and the extra carry was going to push kind of like the rising tide, kind of pushing everything up. And then we always talking about edge being to unders. And Rose kind of jumping on that. Right? I saw that ticket. Really smart, bro. Really smart. And unders are sharp, and we have tons of unders. I'm gonna play them today. Especially at the 8.5. I think these are good. I think those are good prices and really good numbers. I mean, maybe I don't normally double bet games. Is it double? I'm not sure. Is it double betting to bet the White Sox and the under separately? They're totally independent of each other, right? They're two totally separate handicaps and can obviously both work in the same universe, right? They're not mutually exclusive or whatever. All right, enough of that shit. Next up, my boy Yuri Perez on the bumpers for the Marlins. I don't know why the fuck he's an underdog in the dirty to face Bryce the Elder and the Bravos. Braves have the bullpen emoji also. Iglesias, Lee, and Dodd. Best 3 arms there with the lefty, all 2 of 3. I think Perez is the far superior pitcher. Elder gets away with murder all the fucking time. Such bullshit. I don't know how he keeps getting away with this. Such bullshit. One of the worst 4-seamers in the game. Single digits swinging strike. Not enough called strikes. Way too much contact. Fuck this guy, man. Meanwhile, Perez has been awesome. Really hitting stride last 30 days. This is the prince that was promised. And really the wheels up stuff that we were looking for from Yuri as one of my breakout candidates for fantasy this season. I'm not sure if he's on any of my playoff teams in best ball or not. He's got to be somewhere in there. And I'm hoping he fucking keeps it going, Fingers crossed for the big dude. Love to take one home for the fucking good guys, man. You know what I'm saying? So I think this is a bit of a misprice here. I don't like Elder. I do like Perez. And, the offenses are at least close. It's very strange to be hand-waving the Marlins. They're not ass. The Marlins offense is good, actually. You'd love this offense. Listen, Stowers and Griffin and Lopez and Edwards plus Casey is a very strong start. Plus, I like Mack and Marcy as back half pieces. The Marlins offense is fine. This offense is fine. They do a little bit of everything. And I think they particularly beat up on these kind of contact-driven righties. Hang up would generally be the bullpen, where the Braves have been, pretty much so dominant the entire year. But since they have the workload concerns, and if they're down a run, I think they'll go to the B squad. Yeah, give me Marlins to win this one. And let's move it on. It starts to get a little bit ugly down the stretch here. Dean Krispy Kremer on the bump for the Twins. He's the newest Twin. Even money on the road against Noah Cameron and the Royals. He's minus 123. With the high total, I'd be expecting scoring, but it's at 5-9. I really have no interest in this one. I technically have the Twins modeled for a win, but it's just even money, not a great price, and I don't really trust them at all. Royals offense is just hanging by a thread because of all the injuries. So I think this one's just a hard fade for me. This feels like one of those games where the more you stare at it, like, the more, it tries to, not say trick you, but like you convince yourself of something. Kramer, I think, has been a little bit unlucky, but we mentioned the very poor four-seamer. I'm just having trouble backing him until he corrects that. And then Cameron's had a little bit of up and down. Right now it's more down than up. He was going through that one stretch earlier on where it was like, oh, maybe he's going to correct course. That kind of went the way of the fucking dodo. And he's been horrible last 30. He's been horrible at home. I just don't think you should back this stuff. Next up, Paulie Skeens on the bump for the Buccos. He's a plus 119 underdog to Kyle Harrison in Milwaukee. Let's check out the Harrison stuff. I know it's like totally in vogue to be shitting on Paulie Skeens right now. And while Harrison has been awesome, he's in the return start, right? He hasn't pitched in about a month. Minor league rehab. He did go 5 2/3 of shutout balls, struck out 5. He walked 3 of it. I guess they said that was enough. It was A+ though, man. High A ball. I don't know. I can't buy that. If you're buying that, I get you. I think it's a little too expensive to face Paul Skeens. Whatever. Let's look at the fucking Skeens stuff. I can't believe it. I'm like I'm like the fucking meme. The guy like fighting the war fucking years after it ended. Because every time I feel like I look at the Skeens spreadsheet, I'm like, he's obviously awesome. And then he obviously gets fucking reamed, I mean, it's so good. It's all so good. Yes, we'd like to see him get ahead of a few more people, but Skeens has a 111 whip through 124 2/3, sub 3 expected. My indicator's at 307. He has a 24 KBB, 13.5 swing strike. This is fucking elite stuff. 37 chase. He wins in zone. Again, I'm sorry. You people are fucking crazy, yo. He has a 67 left on base and a 310 BABIP. Paul Skeens is still a fucking elite pitching option. People are fucking nuts with this stuff, yo. Everybody trying to dogpile this fucking guy. Just nuts, man. I will, because I don't want to look totally stupid. I know I'm very clippable. Let's check velo, maybe. Is velo down? No, velo's fine. Pitch mix looks fine. I don't know. Paulie Skeens is fine. He's really, really good. The Pirates are going to win today. Again, I worry about the Harrison distance. I never like the debut spots. I think the market's gotten a little too cold on Skeensy. And the price is there for an elite pitching option, of course. I mean, this is like crazy stuff, man. Now, I wanted to see Pittsburgh versus lefties has been pretty whack. Not like I think they're going to kill Harrison. I just don't know how far he goes. And again, we're still talking about Skeens. I think a couple runs are effed. Brewer bullpen's in pretty good shape. The good guys went yesterday, but they both had, all three of them, I should say, had, including Sensatella, had multiple days off. So Brewer bullpen is fine. I don't know. I just think Pittsburgh wins. I think I feel like Paulie Skeens at plus 119 is one of those bets that you're just not going to get a chance at very often, especially because, again, Harrison in the return spot, which is like totally envious. We don't want those spots. It's not a good spot. More often than not, guys are not 100%. Next up, my boy Casey Mize, newest Padre on the bump in the desert, minus 125, favorite against Mitch Bratt and the Snakes. I don't understand this price at all. I've got Mize and the Padres for a kill. He's on regular rest, I think. Let me check it now before I open my since I opened my big mouth. I don't really worry too much about the move. That doesn't really bother me. If anything, I think guys that are getting up for a big playoff race, it's fucking awesome, for them. And they want to show the other team, you want to fucking flip them off or whatever. Mize in the middle of a really great season, former first overall pick. We're experiencing the breakout. Oh, he hasn't pitched, actually. He is on a little bit of broken rest. Not sure that throws me off the scent because I don't think Brad is any good. What's up with this guy? Brad's a former fifth rounder, 134th overall, just 23. This is his first spin in the bigs. I mean, he's had some really nice stuff in the minors. This just feels like a guy we're going to be drafting in deep leagues next year. I'm not quite sure it's there yet for Brad. Let's see what we see. Again, I'm not going to go into detail in the afternoon games. I'm going to just blow through a parlay. But I am curious if, maybe Brad is a little better than we thought. I mean, one, he's a low velo guy. I don't love that. So right off the bat, I feel like that is not necessarily transferable from the minor leagues. Right? Brad is sitting 91, four-seam first, single-digit whiff rate, pitcher's getting annihilated. Then he goes slurve, pretty good pitch. Then he goes slider, also pretty good pitch. So right here is another guy that maybe they need to just mess around with the arsenal a little bit because he's not beating anybody with the four-seamer. And I'm going to kind of digging the Padres offense. I mean, as of late, they've been fun. I guess the lefty splits are kind of weak, though I feel like they've been strengthening. Yeah, I still like the Padres to win because I think we have a massive bullpen edge. I think you have a big pitching edge, even with the break, right? Like understanding the break doesn't mean garbage. The break means, adjust. And I feel like that's already accounted for in the price. So I'm going to get a piece of, I really like Mize, and I like San Diego pushing, and I like the bullpen. I think 125 is just a little too cheap. Let's get him some comments before we do the last one here. B. Rose, you're the man, brother. Oh, look at this. This is fantastic, yo. It says, much love, Johnny. Grazie mille, man. I was losing better until I found folks like you. Can't lose with the tools we use, man. Nothing makes me feel better than, seeing that, right? Kind of adding perspective and a layer of understanding. And again, the data just, I know I'm like jerking myself off here today, but it's the truth. I was that person. Like, that was me, every day setting up this thing, grabbing data, or going worse back and forth. Each game, Fangraphs, to Savant, to this, to that. Wait, what was the split? What was that thing? Do I like this? What was that? What was this? What was that? How do you do this? What was this? How do I react? That's fucking stupid, right? That's fucking stupid.
Stupid! You're
Yes.
so stupid!
You want to have the template there. It helps you build muscle memory. Also, if you notice, if you're a podcast-only person, check out the YouTube stuff. Press like while you're over there. And you can see I'm flipping as I'm talking and filling in the gaps without You're just rolling. You hit the fucking flow state. That's why that game column, that first column is so important. Sort everything by game so everything's in order and work your way, across the boards. And I don't know, it works really well for me. So much so we've had several hundred people that agree. All right, last but not least, Okay, Drew Anderson's going to like open for Detroit. I don't know what their plans for me. He's only gone like an inning. They're plus 130. I feel like it's only plus 130. Detroit is really hitting, but they're facing the Nature Boy, Brian Woo, and the Mariners. I mean, Woo is like the home road guy, right? I'm even at minus 155, he's like a smash, I think. I'm not going to bet on the Detroit offense with an opener against Brian Woo. Like, that's not, to me, that's not enough. Bullpens are pretty close. Mariners have had some recent struggles, but I think the larger sample and the arm talent is good. Model is giving me the nudge, though. It is. Give me the nudge. The fucking nudge, you bastard. Meaning a third of a run, right, where at .35 you could see my mouse cursor. At a .35 disparity, minus 155 is a little rich. It is a little rich. Like I said, it's not. I hate this because I want to bet. I want to bet the Mariners today. But it's a little bit pricey. I was looking to see if there was another. Were there any like minus 150s we liked? The answer is no, because I think the Yankee juice is misplaced. I think the Brewers juice is misplaced. All right, that'll do it for the late time stuff. Just a quick board read, a little Skyrockets in Flight, Afternoon Delight. Everybody, again, thanks for listening to the show. Really do appreciate it. Excuse me, I'm very sorry about that. Yeah, I want to try and get this bitch in at 45 and then maybe 30 minutes eventually. Just to try and speed things up again so I can add in the double show. And, we're in that section of the year where I have the Venn diagram of the overlap is going on. Plus, I'm working on the NFL model at night and drawing up the sheets at night, trying to reformat them. Hit me up if you have any stats that you want to see. Okay, let's do, you know what, hold on. Give me 1 second. Let me sign into this fucking thing. I want to price this parlay. First up, Jameson shot a tie on. Shot a Jameson tie on. There we go. On the bump for the Bluebirds, newest Blue Jay. Very heavy dog against Hunter Brown. And the Astros, Brown, it looks like he's back to form. Houston is hitting. They might be missing Jordan Alvarez. But they feel pretty safe. They feel pretty safe for a win. I also think they're live for the cover also. What the hell, man? Sorry, I'm having trouble. I'm having trouble logging in. I have like the worst luck getting into these websites. They'll take your fingerprint and then ask you to verify. And I'm like, if somebody has cut the tip of my finger off, let them bet on my account. Fuck it. Okay, we're in. So yeah, I think Astros 185 is a little steep. I don't generally play that straight. I think they're live for the run line. I think they kill the Blue Jays today. Sorry, Torontonians. Then it's Eric Lauer and the Dodgers. I was surprised that Lauer bumped Emmett Sheehan from the rotation. Something tells me if Sheehan like shoves for a start or two in the minors, maybe he'll be right back up. He's got Shota Imanaga and the Cubbies. I'm in total disagreement with the model. I'm really worried about Imanaga. The wind is blowing out. Dodgers have hit lefties. He's very vulnerable with the fly ball profile. I'm out on this one. Model's also on the under. I guess because the bullpens, you can see where the model has the game getting out to a good start. But again, the totals are 5.5, 9.5. They're too high. I'm leaving this one alone. I mean, you could, if you're really squinting, we have the Cubs for a win, only minus 117 at home. But man, it's a Dodger team in a good spot. You know, when they hit, I don't like this one at all. There's a no thanks. Next up, this one, I didn't know what to make of this one either. Carson Wisenhunt going for the Giants. And he's another guy, I think, similar to, what's his face? Similar to Bratt. I think Wisenhunt is going to be good at some point. You know, he's got some pedigree. He's had decent seasons in the minors, but as he's hit the upper levels, The control has kind of gone to shit. Then some of these guys get promotions without even dominating the minors, and I really worry. Then you have Cody Bradford, who I really like and I think is really good. He's in the debut start. The guy hasn't pitched in the fucking big league since 2024. I think the Rangers kill the Giants today. I really do. But I struggle to back the debut guys, as you know. Plus, the Giants have the bullpen emoji. Dylan Smith, 3 of 4. Brubaker, 2 of 3. Sam Henkes, 2 of 3. River San Martin, back-to-back. If you haven't heard of any of these guys, don't worry. None of us have. None of us have. So my play in this one has got to be the 08. That feels a little bit low to me. Fuck. Books moved it to 8.5. You bastards were on it. That happens all the time. I mentioned it before. It didn't for that game. It did for this game. Funny that MGM pulled down the alts on this one. I was curious. The 8.5 is 100. I was curious what the 08. Well, here it is. 08 is minus 125. Yeah, I think I'd probably go to that. There's so many hits on the distribution curve that get you that push. I pay up for that. And it's only minus 125 and not like minus 140. Then there's one more, right? Nick Martinez and the Rays on the road against Tomoyuki Sagano. And the Rocks on the road. I don't know what to make of this one. Runs. It's fucking Colorado. Am I technically to the under? I guess, but both teams at 5.5. I don't know. It's as high as it gets. I goosed the shit out of this. Damn, I guess my afternoon parlay is just not going to happen. If I was forcing it, I think the Rockies probably win. Maybe I like the Rockies on the run line. Where you could lose at home by a run. Had them up to the very end of yesterday, and they still lost. They didn't get the cover either. That number is minus 110. Yeah, I'd probably go there. I was trying not to really do stats in these. Has Sagano been okay also lately? I feel like I attack him every time he pitches, and it's not been profitable. Yeah, he's a sub-3 ERA, sub-1 whip last 30 days, but his expected ERA is north of 8. I mean, if you're going to have an expected ERA near 8, Coors is the field that's going to punish you for that. But I still think that run line is totally live. I'm not really in love with Martinez. And, anything can happen because the Rockies' offense is good. Yeah, so I guess I have, early on, we've got Astros run line, Cubs win, Giants, Texas over 8, and the Rockies full game run line. In other words, I don't think I'm going to touch these. I don't think I'm going to touch these afternoon games. I'm not really into it. All right, that'll do it, everybody. Let's get the fuck out of here, man. Appreciate you all. Yo, be custom. Good to see you, player. All right, swept the board yesterday. First time in 2 weeks. Love to see it, man. Love to see that. I really do. Good job, man. Joey Lobster says, I'll join up soon. Low on dough, chilling in the cheap seats. No doubt, player. At the very least, do us a favor, right? Press like and subscribe. That shit is free. Right, I understand asking for money sucks. I don't speak for people's money. And that's why this is out there, right? I really want to help people. That said, I'm doing my fucking part. Shaking the titties, shaking what little ass I got. This show obviously takes a metric ton of work to do every day. A metric fucking ton of work to do every day. Plus, you got to put lipstick on the fucking pig. You know what I mean? But yeah, do your part. Do the free stuff. So everyone out there, do the free stuff. If you find it in your heart, you get the last month for free if you sign up for the year. So that's $88. I think it comes to $1.67. Now that's a pretty good time because you get, football season and all the fantasy baseball plus the first half of next year's baseball. I mean, I'm keeping it as cheap as I can get for as much work as I could possibly put out there. Yo, that's bad funny. Plus money Pat says spreadsheets and chill. Yo, who wants to come over? Who wants to come over for some spreadsheets and chill, man? Appreciate you all. Let's get out of here.
What is your profession?
Sorry, I was covering up for a cough there. Let's get out of here. Enjoy the games. Enjoy the day. When we're done with the book, enjoy the pay. Check out the fantasy football videos. Did another live draft yesterday. They're under the video tab that nobody watches, but I got to put it out there anyway. You got to dance like nobody is watching. Just remember, when you work this freaking hard, the winning feels a lot less like luck.